Well, it certainly seems to be the buzzword lately, time batching. Well, I suppose that's 2 words, but everywhere you look, you'll see people talking about it on Facebook and on blogs and even on Twitter. Time batching, time batching. It's everywhere. So today on The Freedom Strategy, we are going to look at number 1, what is time batching, and give you 3 examples of it. And number 2, is it effective? Because really, that's the most important thing. As you know, here on The Freedom Strategy, I am here to help you kick the 9 to 5, get out of the rat race, and move on to a second career that you'll actually love. And I come out with new videos every Wednesday and sometimes Sunday, so please go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget the little bell notification so you will be alerted as soon as one of my new videos comes out. Well, we're talking about time batching today. And why are we talking about it? Well, because if you do go on that journey and ditch the 9 to 5 job and start working for yourself, as we've talked about before, it is important to be organized and productive. And that is where time batching comes in. Now, it seems like a new catchphrase, but it is not a new concept. In fact, I read Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek, like 10 years ago. And it's actually really, really good and it's very inspirational. And no, I don't really think Tim Ferriss only works 4 hours a week, but what I do think is that what he gets done in 4 hours is probably equivalent to what other people get done in a whole week. And I do think that's kind of the purpose of the book. I will put a link to the book below because it is absolutely well worth reading. It will motivate you to get organized and get on with your life and start that second career that you are going to enjoy so much. Okay, so maybe the simplest way to explain what time batching is it's kind of the opposite of multitasking. Now, I am certainly one of those that says, oh, I'm such a great multitasker. Right? I've said that forever. I have 5 kids. I had to be a multitasker, and I did learn how to do it very well. But the truth of the matter is that's not always the most effective way to get things done. So time batching basically is combining things that are all similar and getting them done at the same time in the same chunk of time. So you might look at work, for example, and I'll use myself as an example. What I used to do is when I needed to come out with a new video, I would research all of the keywords. I would research who's out there putting stuff like it out. I would narrow down my focus for that video. I would narrow down the keywords. I would come up with a concept. I would draft my YouTube script. I would sit down and film it. I would then edit it, I would then write the blog post, and I would hit send and put it out, which is fine. I mean, that works. But with batching, instead of doing it in a linear fashion, you do it in a block fashion. So now here's what I do. I do my research to come up with my next 4 videos that I'm going to be doing. I do the keyword research for those 4 videos. Then I will film those 4 videos in a row. Then I will edit them, and then they're all lined up and ready to put out one at a time. And that is what batching is all about. So while it used to be all day Monday I would come up with something new and get it out, now it's Monday I'm doing these 2 batches of tasks, and Tuesday I'm doing these 2. It might look something like this. Here is a Google Calendar, and it shows blocks of time for various things that I'm going to be doing. Now, yours might look different. If you are still working that 9 to 5 job, well, obviously block out 9 to 5 plus commute time, which, as an aside, when you finally ditch the job and get onto a second career that you love because you're working for yourself, you don't have a commute time. So right there, you're probably going to save an hour in your day. So back to the calendar. Block out time to answer emails, block out time to do your work, block out time to communicate with people for work reasons. It all needs to be in there, but if you block it all at the same chunk of time, you are being far more efficient with your use of time. Now, like I said, this isn't really a new concept. I mean, I remember when I first graduated from law school and got my big fancy law job at the big fancy law firm, one of my supervisors, one of the first things he said is, Heather, you do a lot of pick up and put down work. I'm like, what? That's what he's talking about. That I would do one task and do it partially and put it down because I'd go to the next one and pick it up and put it down and do it. And yeah, I thought I was an awesome multitasker, but that is what he was talking about. Instead, he said, sit down and do all of your research for the whole entire brief that you were writing. Then sit down and write the whole entire outline. And it actually was a lot more efficient that way. So while time batching might be a new catchphrase, the concept is certainly not new. Now, here are a couple of other examples. I've already given you an example of how to do it for your work. I also do it for my evening routine, and you can do this however it fits into your schedule. I like to batch as much of my cooking and food prep together as I can. So while I'm cooking dinner, I might also have time to turn around and make a couple of sandwiches to have for lunch tomorrow, so it's totally done. I don't have to think about it the next day. And I even will take that time to get my coffee maker ready for coffee the next morning. So I am batching together all the things that I need to do in the kitchen from about 5 p.m. that will then get done all the way through the next morning. And it saves an enormous amount of time. I'm not in the morning looking around for the coffee, where are the beans, where's the grinder, where's my water? It's all there, it's ready to go. I wake up, I push a button, it's done. And the third example of time batching, and I will admit, this is kind of a weird one, and to be honest, it kind of blends multitasking and time batching, and it's gonna sound weird. So these are things that I do in the morning in my morning routine in the bathroom. I know, don't get all freaked out. I'm not talking about going to the bathroom. I'm talking about things that I also do in the bathroom. For example, I have our coffee maker in our bathroom because I like to just get up, push the button, it's all right there. I don't even have to walk out of the room to have coffee in the morning. I love that. So while my coffee is brewing, then I'll brush my teeth, and while I'm brushing my teeth, I do my lunges and squats. Okay, so there are 3 examples of how I do time batching, but the real question is, does it work? And I'm just gonna go right out there and say, yeah, it does. And I can say that because when I look at the time it used to take me to get out 2 videos and everything that goes along with it, the social media posts and all that kind of stuff, it is far more efficient for me to batch it and do it the way I do it now. It takes about, I would say, 2/3 of the time that it used to take. Not only that, there are studies that show that when you switch from task to task, it takes your brain about 15 minutes to refocus on the new task. And also, Harvard Business Review put out an article that discusses that multitasking actually reduces productivity by 40%. So I and Harvard Business Review think it's much more effective. So here's the beauty of it. You're going to get more done in less time, and that will leave you more time to get out there and enjoy your life, your dreams, your way. Thank you for tuning in to the Freedom Strategy, and please subscribe, and I'll have another video out soon.